calling perhaps for an extra official to make their way down. That is a long. Oh. Holy dogs! Liv Morgan! Oh no! What the hell was that for? Liv just slapped the man who we thought was her boyfriend.
Hello friends, listeners, and newcomers. It's me, Eric B. They call me the Raw Dog. And you're listening to SNME Radio presents the Survivor Series recap show. Folks, thank you for joining us on the Hub Sports Entertainment Network. And I am joined by a special guest, not only my regular buddy, but I am joined by another guest. He is coming to us all the way from the Smack Fathers himself, the man with the most beautiful curly hair in the business. It is Brad the Dad. Brad the Dad, what's going on, brother?
I am here to join you guys, talk about Survivor Series. I think we had the weirdest thing that most wrestling fans can't relate to. We actually watched the show with friends last night. You guys had a little Survivor Series gathering. I did as well. I had some of my friends over to watch it. My daughter even stayed and watched the whole Survivor Series.
You know what? That's actually a very good point. I also thought it was very weird to be around people watching wrestling for a change. But hey, maybe that's just something that I like as a wrestling fan. But talking about another wrestling fan, it is my PIC, my puppy in crime, and his name is Randy C. He doesn't want to bark anymore, folks. He's not about that life. So Randy, how you feeling, brother?
I hurt. What inventions allows us to see through walls? Windows. Hey, Brad the Dad. Hey, Eric B. It's me, Randy C. And it's always good to hear Brad the Dad with Maddie. Thank you for bringing up that name. Maddie's watching a lot of wrestling as of late.
It's because we gave her alcohol.
Oh, again?
Yeah, my friend Jared came over to visit, and he really likes grape things, so we had some more of that grape alcohol. And so I won't name it, because if they want to, they can contact Randy at SNME Radio, and or through the website, he can reach out to us and we can sponsor them. I know a whole society that would put purple drink in a fountain shooter at their bar.
That sounds like a grape idea, Randy. What do you think?
I greatly accept that idea and greatly are excited for them to reach out to me.
Oh, that got worse. Bad. That got worse and worse. Like, I made a dad joke and it just got worse and worse as it went. But folks, Yeah, we're talking about Survivor Series today, talking about worse and worse as it went. No, 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 no. It's not all bad. It's not all bad, but we're going to get into that with Randy C., Brad the Dad, and me, Eric B., the Raw Dog. So, folks, thank you so much for listening to us, taking your time to do so. First, I think before we go into the whole breakdown of the show itself, we should talk about Survivor Series and what it means to us, especially as Canadians, because Survivor Series has always been positioned around Thanksgiving, and the lucky Americans get to be at home enjoying their turkey leftovers, watching their Survivor Series, and having their wonderful memories. But it doesn't mean that us Canucks don't have the same memories, folks, or enjoy, say, maybe some of our top memories for Survivor Series. So, Brad the Dad, why don't you lead us into what is your, let's say, memory of the day here? Your favorite memory today, as of right this second.
So
Survivor Series.
as of today, my favorite memory is when I go back to the 1990 Survivor Series, and it had the traditional teams and some of the classic characters. So you had the Ultimate Warriors team versus the Perfect Team, the $1 Million Team versus the Dream Team, the Visionaries versus the Vipers and the Hulkamaniacs versus the Natural Disasters, and the Alliance versus the Mercenaries with Sergeant Slaughter. So you have like Nikolai Volkov, you have the Bushwhackers, you have Jim Duggan, Boss Man, all of these characters. And this Survivor Series was one of my favorites because at the end of it, all of the survivors make up two teams, good guys and bad guys. And we get the ultimate survivors match. I remember having my WWE magazine and filling out my brackets like I was doing March Madness before I knew what March Madness was. And then little Brad, before he had curly hair, just filling out all of these brackets and then getting very excited for the fact that Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, and one of my favorites, Tito Santana, based off with all of these terrible villains like Ted DiBiase and Rick Martel and the Warlord and Hercules and Paul Roma. And you had multiple managers out there like Virgil and Slick. And slowly but surely, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior survive, setting up the WrestleMania match, which we won't talk about because we didn't get the right ending.
We were actually watching some classic Survivor Series after the end of the show last night. Just had something on Netflix, and just the original cadence of that Survivor Series match was there, the ridiculousness of the teams. But I think that when you're talking about like the dream team of go-to Survivor Series teams, I think you just nailed it right on the head. For me, I think a memory that sticks out for reasons that are more personal and my connections in life now is, my God, just hearing Bret Hart recount the ridiculousness of the Hart family versus Shawn Michaels and his Knights is probably one of the funniest things of all time. I think that his brother hadn't trained for something like 6 years at that point. So they had to really work it through. Brett recalls it as probably one of his least favorite matches of all time. Him and his family, they definitely get along, but as far as the way that he looks at their wrestling skills and acumen, besides Owen, he doesn't have too many nice things to say about people. But I think the story behind that is Jerry Lawler was supposed to be involved in this match, right? And then Shawn Michaels had to step in with these ridiculous jobbers in night suits. I think one was the Brooklyn Brawler, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm remembering. The other ones I cannot remember. We're gonna have to check some facts for that real quickly. I can see Brad the Dad checking in the background real quick. But oh man, the costumes that they just threw these guys into were like the costume that me and Randy saw a guy walking down the street and it was literally a Spirit of Halloween night costume. And yes, this happened to me and Randy on Friday in Mississauga. It's almost December. There was a man walking with a night costume in hand. But yes, that is my most ridiculous memory that stands
Hey,
out that I love.
your fact check of the night brought to you by East Coast Life. It is Barry Horowitz, who is the Red Knight. Greg Valentine was the Blue Knight. And Jeff Gaylord was the Black Knight. And famously, there was supposed to be another knight that was going to be Terry Funk, but his horse got sick and he went home.
Oh, geez. Randy, save us, brother. What is your favorite moment?
Well, Brad already hit the Hulkamaniacs, but it wasn't that team that I was cheering for that day. It was the Hulkamaniacs that did win, but it was Andre the Giant, Haku, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson. That team is the best of everything. But when we're talking about these Survivor Series moments or favorites, there's one thing that we're talking about in common that they put on a Friday night SmackDown, which you can listen to the greatest SmackDown review on the internet, and that's with Brad the Dad here every Saturday morning and Father Greg Feltham. But they went through a traditional Survivor Series match, which I like. I do not like these war game styles matches, but we'll talk a little more later about it. But what about you guys? Do you guys miss the elimination in Survivor Series?
Absolutely. I don't see how the name makes any sense without that style match being there in
Sure.
the present. I think that if anything, we should at least have that one match reserved for the main event. And when we talk about something being necessary or something that hasn't happened for a long time is WWE doesn't have a definitive brand split. There's two different brands as far as two different shows go, but the brand itself is definitely jumbled in with one another. Stars from each show go from place to place, definitely to carry the ratings as much as they possibly can for the network, for ESPN Plus, for Netflix, whatever it might be. They need the big stars to be there. But when you look back at one of like the greatest Survivor series of all time, and I know that I fanboy over this so much, it's when NXT had to get involved. All the talent was stuck in Saudi Arabia, and those three definitive brands gave us one of the best matches ever in Survivor Series modern history. So that's the reason why I think that it needs to exist.
And it would be great if we could have at least one. Because I think the problem with the War Games match right now is that we have two of them. And it takes away the special of the two matches. And you tonight you had one War Games that I think was the better of the two matches. And the other one would have worked as just a traditional match. And I get it. They don't want to say like have the ladies do the traditional match and the men do the War Games. But one of these matches was more of a blood feud, and the other one would have worked better as a Survivor Series match. And both of them would have worked.
Yeah, for sure. And then everybody's kind of split as to what War Games match was better last night. A lot of people are on the men's side, a lot of people are on the women's side. I think that the War Games match itself, you're a little, again, when you have two of them in the same showing, it's a little bit drawn out for one. For two, the time involved in each match is it gets kind of extensive. And then when you look at the men's match in comparison to the women's last night, there was a significant amount of time that was given to the women more than there was to the men. The men definitely had I don't want to say it was a rushed finish in comparison because 45 minutes is definitely not rushed by any means. But when we get to we're discussing the end, there's reasons, I guess, why that happened. And there's some really funny facts right now as to why people know who was underneath that mask. And I don't think we've discussed it yet. So I can't wait to do it in this show today. So, guys, do we have any other thoughts on this? Or should we get into Survivor Series from San Diego at Petco Arena?
Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about these war games.
Wait, am I supposed to fact check you and tell you it's Petco Park?
Oh, yep, there
Yeah.
you go. Petco Park, where you can bring your dog and watch Survivor Series. Do whatever you need to do. Yes, but yes, thank you for the East Coast fact check brought to you by East Coast Life. Yes? Am I correct with that, or are you going to fact check me?
No, it's
this one's-
fine.
Yes. All right. We did it. Don't worry, guys. We are ready to go, and we are talking about Survivor Series War Games. And the first match of the night is going to be the women's match. I guess it's Team Rhea, which features Rhea, Charlotte, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, AJ Lee. They're going to take on Nia Jax, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Lash Legend, and Becky Lynch in this War Games match to open up the night. Listen, as much as I was saying negative things about the War Games match, when you see that cage drop down, when you hear the sirens, when everything goes dark in the arena for that 1 second, it's a cool feeling. It is definitely a cool feeling. As a fan in an arena, when we were there for the Elimination Chamber, that effect that spectacle that you see is definitely very impressive. Very, very impressive. Guys, what was the one thing that we were automatically missing in this War Games match that we're used to having? Think about the
Weapons,
outside of the
more
arena.
weapons in a stage.
Shark cages.
Yeah, they're not gonna be
Oh,
able to sell those toys this year, are they?
Shark cages. And when you think about what are you missing not having those shark cages there? You're missing exactly what Brad just threw out. That interaction between Roman and CM Punk, that drove that toy to be created, that moment to be created, to go viral for fans to be memed. Something else that you want to think about as well with those shark cages is how about Tegan Knox getting absolutely destroyed trying to come out of the cage by what's her name? Jeez, she's been gone for so long. I got to think about the moment here.
Dakota Kai.
Uh,
Dakota
yeah,
Kai.
Dakota Kai. Yeah, from Damage Control. When she turned and she destroyed the knee, and they did nothing with that for a while until Damage Control. But again, those moments were very big for these talents for a long, long time. Rhea being trapped in the cage, not being able to get out, things like that. They went with just your standard openings. So
Do you want to know the reason why, from what I'm hearing?
tell
One
me.
aspect of that, they actually changed the floor plan even till like the night before. I guess they're
Oh,
selling more and more tickets. Now, I can't tell you if the cages were supposed to be there, but you can definitely tell on the way out that they're making left, right, left, I think, on the way out. So it's possible it could have been there, but they threw in like a couple more floor sections, can you say, in there on the
exactly.
rights and the lefts.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get into the match itself. We're going to start with Charlotte Flair, Asuka, crazy gear here by Charlotte, but we do find out that afterwards, this gear was designed by a girl who has a brain tumor. So it's pretty awesome that Charlotte rocked that gear for this match. The Queen herself and the Empress of Tomorrow in the match. We're going to start it off. Eventually, Kairi Sane is going to join them, and she has a green chain, folks. That green chain, Brad, that green chain was doing damage?
Question mark. It
Yeah.
was. It had the spot. I know other people will probably think it's too goofy, but it got a huge reaction from the people I was watching with when they wrap the chain around and they hold them together, and there's the drop kicks. That got
Yeah.
a big pop out of people. The one thing that bothered me about the chain, Randy, I would have liked them to use the chain to keep somebody out of the cage. Like when Rio was coming down, why didn't they just lock the cage, Randy?
Yeah, no, 100%. They could have did that. But with a neon plastic chain that they may have had, I don't know if it could have held back the Terrifier or Art the Clown or whatever you want to call Rhea Ripley at that point. Because nobody can hold back Art. Can they,
Oh,
Eric?
geez. No, I honestly, I'm a huge, we were talking about this so much last night. I love horror movies and I have never seen The Terrifier and I could care less to do so. By all means, send me all your hate messages that you want, but just the level of obscene gore is just not there for me. And then also coming out like that and not even making one person bleed in this match is just, it's criminal as far as the content goes. And I haven't seen the film and I know this. But anyways, yes, we had a lot of 3D printed weapons tonight in the War Games matches, but that trash can wasn't 3D printed because here's Io Sky with her lovely trash can. That is, her trademark thing at this point. Alexa Bliss is there as well. No weapons, just herself. Just herself. No doll, no weapons, no nothing really. Alexa Bliss is kind of like there in this match,
You know
you
what?
know?
There's a great point. Why didn't she come out with a doll and hit people with it and then like reveal that there's a foam brick in it? Like that would have been
Yeah. Oh,
hilarious.
that's great, actually. You know what's great about that point, too, is just merch sales also. Finn Balor's Demonito puppet sold out, unfortunately, before I could get it. But it's sold out like crazy because he's used it now in two matches there, and it's over like Rover. And Lily would be too if she was maybe used in such a way that she was useful. Anyways.
Especially with the foam brick.
It's 3D printed brick, my friends. We are 3D printing things now for realism. All right, AJ Lee is then making her way into the ring. This is after Becky made her way into the ring. Becky does this thing where she tries to prevent her from getting into the cage, locks the door. AJ Lee runs over the top. Really scary moment where the official has to close that door as fast as possible because as soon as AJ Lee got over the cage to put her feet down on what would be the door, it swung open. As fast as it possibly could. So yes, they saved AJ Lee from a horrible fall there. But yes, this happens in War Games. Terrifier Art makes his way or her way to the ring. And then Lash Legend appears, and Lash Legend is definitely in the Brock Lesnar spot here because she is clearing house. As far as what they chose for her to do, though, it was a little slow with the delivery.
Well, and they hosed her by, we've never heard her song on the main roster. So nobody knew what the sound was. Her music is not good. Or maybe it is good. I don't know. I haven't heard it enough to make an opinion yet. And I watch NXT. So this is the problem. And they gave her a great spot, but the problem was that we haven't seen her do anything. She stands there next to Nia and she ragdolled one person. Like, it was a showcase, but we should have seen her blasting people for the last 2 weeks. Like in the background, taking people out, doing big power spots.
Yeah. Well, you see that ragdoll spot here. You see the pump kick spot that she's doing, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. That thing is hitting flush to the shoulder every single time. And she looks good. Me and Randy were watching the match with a couple of different wrestling fans, people who aren't used to her as well. And they're seeing her for the first time, and she looks impressive. A lot of people are saying that this is what Jade Cargill wishes she had right now.
Well, she also had something else. Did you see that whole time she was wrestling? She had a big thing on her hand. She got engaged.
She wore the wedding ring?
She wore the engagement ring.
I didn't know that.
So her and Trick Willie are happily engaged, and she's wearing the diamond ring, Randy. I think I'd be worried about losing that diamond during that match.
The children are going to be huge and tall. But yeah, never mind the diamond. Imagine the children, people. No, which is absolutely incredible. Yeah, married Trick Williams. I've seen that too as well. Yeah, I guess Trick, when are you going to come up? But she's massive. I call her the Jade Killer. I've always said it since I first saw her. And yeah, Jade not on the card tonight. Lash getting her spot. You know, for a change, something's going to happen between those two ladies in the future. But you're right. She needed a better intro, a little better introduction to tell the world who Lash Legend is, because she is a monster. She is a killer. And I'm surprised you guys haven't said anything about Nia Jax's attire. It's the San Diego Padres City and Lights. And I didn't realize it till after. I was like, boy, does Nia look out of place in this match last night. That's what
I got to say, to her credit, she looked great last night in the sense that you can tell she's been in the gym. We had a sidebar conversation of like Ozempic. And I was like, that's not Ozempic. That is hard work. You can tell because she hasn't lost any muscle mass. She's actually put on muscle mass. And to Nia Jax, like I used to hate watching her matches. She is super competent in the ring and may have been the anchor during portions of this match.
This is the point that I made when we were watching this last night, because it used to be she was like one of the most unsafest workers, and then she's in this ring and she looks like not only is she working the safest, but she looks dominant. And who can stop her? Who can actually stop this woman if she wants to take that title? It doesn't make any sense that anybody there can stop her.
Lash Legend.
Lash, yeah. There you go. Lash will get in the way of everything,
but not Nia Jax attire. Nia can't be anybody in that attire. Sorry, guys.
A lot of very strange attire choices tonight. We'll just say that. And Nia Jax being on the heel team, wearing like a very white and neon colored, fluorescent colored gear. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. And there's a lot of attire choices that make no sense in the men's war game matches too, but we will get to that. Anyways, we get all of our favorite spots. Asuka's gonna miss ya. And Io Sky is going to take her trash can, second half of it brought by Rhea Ripley as well. We didn't mention that. She's going to take her trash can, do her beloved trash can spot. This is actually the fourth time that she's done it, and the third time that she's done it in front of fans. She did it once during the whole COVID brawl. But this time she decides to do, I guess, a senton bomb with it. And there is a really hilarious picture online. I'm going to credit WrestleMania for this, where she is completely upside down doing the splits in midair in that trash can. And she looks like Oscar the Grouch fell into the trash can head first. It is hilarious.
And as
I don't know.
you're the figure guy, tell me that this is not going to be a figure, that you're going to be able to buy an Asuka and she'll come with a lid, and you'll have to buy the matching Rhea Ripley, which comes with the trash can.
Oh, that'd be great, actually. You know what? If let's say this, so this is her fourth spot. Io already has one action figure with the purple trash can. I think if anything, if you're going to do an Ultimate Edition figure, you're going to give her this trash can. And if you give Rhea Ripley the other half, it would be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. But then it would force these nerds to open their figures, and they hate doing that. So, anyways, folks, I say nerds belovingly. I am one of you. Believe me. Believe me. You can hear it in my references. I'll just say that. Anyways, yes, this seems to be kind of leading towards the end of the match. Becky is the only one standing there. She has her surprised look, which seems to be her thing as of late, on her face. She gets nailed with the Riptide by Art the Clown, and then AJ Lee locks in the Black Widow submission for the tap, and that is the victory here for Rhea Ripley and her team as they play AJ Lee's music, and this is the last time we will see AJ Lee for 2 months. Guys, thoughts on the match?
Thoughts on the match? Well, this is a War Games, and we're coming out with plastic stuff already. Even the garbage can looked plastic. I rewatched some of the matches this morning, and I want to talk the War Game matches in particular, and I want to point something out. Production last night wasn't the greatest, and when I say it, watching this, I think it actually hindered my judgment on this match. We only seen realistically one of the rings. There's two rings in a War Games match, but they did focus on one. So we didn't see a lot of stuff with outside, like say Nia going off with Charlotte. There was a lot of just focus on middle of the one ring, I guess you can say. Now, it lacked, you heard me last night, Eric. Eric was there. It lacked the enjoyment for me on that. And now I'm starting to blame the production. Something else happens later on in the other War Games match, and we'll explain it when we get there. But that's why I wanted to rewatch these both. And that's the problem. Lackluster, it was a cluster. Some of the times you didn't know half the stuff that was going on. Yeah, you saw certain spots, but then certain spots you shouldn't have needed to see, like the AJ Lee with the door opening, correct? Right? Other stuff like that. You saw a lot of blunder, which you didn't need to see. So I didn't really. Can I give a banana rating first before we ask you, Brad? Because I really just want to get over it. I give this war Games. We just saw Blood and Guts last week, and they want to call this War Games. I'll give this a. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe a 2.5 banana. Barely possible. So right. It's probably my lower things this year.
You turned your head away.
2.5 bananas, sorry. 2.5 banana. 2.5 bananas.
Feel like
not good. That's not good.
I feel like I was with Maddie again. It's like into the mic. Yeah, no, and I would have gone 3 to be generous, just because the people I watched it with really liked the EO spot, but there was too much. So there's a lot of good things in this match, but the problem with this match is, I don't know where they're going after this. Like that's with the men's match, at least there's some story beats you can say they're going to build to. With this match, I'm like, okay, so AJ beat Becky. They'll probably see each other at the Royal Rumble. I think Randy's 100% correct. That'll be the next time we see AJ. And then what else do we have? Like we didn't have somebody pin one of the champions because the champions weren't in this match. And I think we're going to have a bunch of women feuding for the tag titles. And I really hope that we get Lash Legend and Nia Jax with those tag titles, and they go on a like Road Warriors style run because they're amazing. And I think this is the perfect thing for Lash Legend. Nia is a competent worker, and you could hear her last night, Eric. That was the one thing I really appreciate about the match. You talked about Nia Jax earlier. She was calling spots to Lash, keeping her focus because poor Lash Legend, like what a weekend. She got engaged and she had her main roster debut match in on a PLE. Like it's an amazing moment in her life, but there's a lot of pressure, and she lived up to the pressure with a little bit of help from her friends. So I would
that's
say
right. They are on SmackDown. That's why they're on SmackDown and the Smack Daddies. They cover it every Saturday morning. So you can keep Nia Jackson Lash. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Brad.
yeah, but you can have we're gonna send over a few people like the White Six.
Oh Lord. Oh man. Well, it's funny because everybody we'll talk about that actually at the War Games men's match with your comment that you just made there. The match itself, of course, you expect it to be all over the place, a smorgasbord of wrestling and high spots, low spots, high spots. There has to be some rest involved. Production value definitely isn't there to cover everything that's going on. Maybe you have to give us a split screen and focus on two different rings within that split screen and put that up on the screen for us to enjoy. Maybe that's something that could fix that problem. But we were talking about it as well. War games, um, World War III, these types of matches that have too much to focus on at one time, the Tower of Terror in WCW, these matches are kind of more designed for cinematic effect. To be able to see everything that's going on, a cinematic match is perfect for this position. But I don't know, man. People love their war games. They love their war games. So we'll probably get a lot of hate for this, for saying that we don't love it as much. But
it was a good match,
is.
but one of the things that they could fix it very easily, and you notice a few times they were shooting through the cage to give you that effect. I like the old days when you were having a Hell in the Cell and you had a couple of guys or cage matches where you clearly could see they cut holes, and that was a camera hole. And I think that would help this match a lot. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed the wires. They had some wires right by the door as you walked in. You could see they had a couple of cameras up high. They need a few cameras in today's day and age. Why can't you have a couple extra cameras hidden in places on the cage?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So there's a lot of good points there. I think one of the best points you made though, Brad, is about where you go after this for the women's. Both matches, both War Games matches are comprised of multiple storylines kind of being jumbled together, but the men's probably have a little bit more cohesiveness to their actual story of this War Games match, their quote unquote blood feud. And then the women, what is it? It's like Rhea and Io don't like the Kabuki Warriors, Charlotte, Nia Jax, they don't like each other. Like, what are we doing after this? So we'll have to see what happens. And you can find out and listen to what happens when you hear me and Randy talk about it. Right, Randy? Plug us. Plug us.
No, not Nia Jax, but you can hear us talk about WWE Raw, and that's the Draw Straws Raw every Tuesday morning here on the Hub Sports Entertainment. Just look up the Hub Sports Entertainment on a podcasting platform.
Oh, wait, hold on. Allow me on behalf of my tag team partner to congratulate you gentlemen on taking over the Raw spot and passing 100 episodes. Episode 101 coming Monday night here on the Hub Sports Entertainment Network.
Starring Jason Gimpy Mitchell. No.
Not really.
That's not going to happen. All right, guys, but you know what? Talking about Monday Night Raw, you know where the home of this man is on Monday Night Raw? It is Dominic Mysterio, and he is taking on John Cena to try to get his Intercontinental title back. And during the starting of this match, during the openings, during the walkouts, the sun goes down in San Diego, and it goes down aggressively at that. A friend of ours that we were watching with says that the sun goes down when it's sundown in San Diego really fast, really, really fast into the Bay of San Diego. But yes, it looked beautiful. It always looks great when you see that happening during the entrances. John Cena gets a little bit more of an ovation than Dominic Mysterio in his hometown. Maybe for good reason. This is his last time. He reminds us that at camera. Last PLE, last time on ESPN, last show on Netflix. He keeps on saying it, and he's like, Stu, let's go to work. And go to work he does. But yes, we were talking about this as well. At this point, the John Cena farewell tour. It's coming to its end. Has it gone past its expiry? Brad, has this gone past its expiry date?
Absolutely not. So to the point that Michael Cole in this match, at the end of this match, mistakenly said that Saturday night's main event is next week. It's actually 2 weeks from now. And my friend is having his traditional Christmas party, and we were talking about it, and he's like, "Oh, we'll have to all gather around my TV and watch this match." Like that is the point. I know there are people going to gather, like to the point that like Jared and Laura will probably come over to my house like 3 or 4 times a year to watch wrestling, even because now they have their own wrestling. They can watch on Netflix at home. But like we're talking about gathering a group of people together to watch John Cena's last match live. Like it is probably the biggest thing. And but at some point, we need to talk about uh, how much of an impact he's made on wrestling. Like I think you could do an entire special on how much of a difference this is. I mean, Eric, you talked a few times to me about like you're starting to get in your feels about this retirement.
And I don't think that they've even tried to make that happen. I don't think that they've pushed that angle to us. It's just they're letting us know like he's firm in what he's saying. After he's done, we're not going to see him wrestle anymore. And we were watching this with our friend Eric Reed, friend of the show, and his wife was watching as well. And she asked, "Didn't this guy kind of retire like 2 years ago?" And to her point, he wasn't an active performer. But knowing that he wanted to go out his way, they gave him his reign to do so. So, yes, his impact on wrestling is huge. His impact on a generation of fans is huge. I personally know a kid who believes John Cena saved his life just being John Cena, right? And I think that he did that for a lot of people. And I think that's the power of what he has done for pro wrestling, one of the greatest powers, actually.
Like you said before in
Anyways.
the past with John Cena, as much as I did not like him in the past, these last couple of years I've definitely appreciated him. And he's changed the crowd back. Do you remember when, and I think we already sort of talked about it before, when people would say, John Cena rules, John Cena sucks, right?
Mhm.
Now you do not hear one chant of John Cena sucks. It's coming up. The second last match is tonight, and you don't hear one chant of that. This is a guy that can change an atmosphere of a crowd, and he deserves it. He is the greatest, one of the greatest of all time, sorry, in my eyes. But never seen 17. Yes, coming out for his second last match. Good, good way you guys discussed it, guys. Perfect.
All right, so this match, folks, you know it's going to be filled with tricksters and chicanery, and it will be because Dominic is flanked by his Judgment Day Latina ladies. It's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. We know nothing bad is going to happen with those. Let's just fast forward to the part of the match where I know Randy is just furious about, probably till this moment. And let's talk about faking an injury and a faked botch spot that looked like Dominic Mysterio did get dropped directly on his head. And it's not the first time of the night where we see somebody get dropped directly on his head and makes us question, is this a spot or not? And ooh, yeah, Randy, I'll let you do this one, brother, because I know that you love talking about this topic so
So
much.
I don't like. I think karma is a true thing, and she is uh, a real mean bitch. I'm gonna say it. Um, until gets hurt this week, they use this spot right away. Dominic Mysterio does the exact same spot Penta did earlier this week and gets hurt and gets eliminated. Eliminated from the match. Solo Sokoa continues. When this happened, there was 5 people in the room, and 2 of them believed he was definitely hurt. But once I seen it, yes, I said, nah, this is the work. And if they do this again, it could be brilliant or it could be the worst thing that could ever be done. The Seth Rollins injury before, I don't like faking injuries. I know it has been done in the past, Cowboy Bob Orton, whatever it may be, blah 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 blah. But using refs a certain way, so on and so forth, I don't agree on as well. But yes, we had a big discussion on this as it was happening. Even our secret private chat was going off left, right. Like Father Greg was really upset with this, but it shouldn't happen in wrestling. So yes, Dominic Mysterio tries to do the same spot Penta did earlier, walk on the railing and do the Hurricanrana, and it looks like he hurt himself. But Did he? Eric?
No, he didn't because out of nowhere, here comes Roxanne Perez, Tejana Bomb on John Cena. Sorry, Raquel does Tejana Bomb, and then Roxanne does her Pop Rocks after that to John Cena. So he takes two massive bumps from two ladies, which is great. And then Dominic, out of nowhere, is magically healed, runs into the ring, does a 619 frog splash, tries to go for the pin, but the ref is not having it. The ref has figured it out. He doesn't call off the match as a disqualification, though, which is kind of weird because there's definitely a lot of staring at the ring happening as well during the Dominic Mysterio injury check happening by the referee. No disqualification, Brad. Have we ever seen a referee just stop pinning? I will not do this, but I'm
No,
not going to disqualify you.
no, you didn't. You never saw that. The only thing that would have made sense for this is if John Cena would have been like, "No, I want to keep going." Like if he would have just been like sitting in the ring or gotten up and been like, "No, don't let us finish the match." I got to tell you, I actually liked the spot because I was with some not like non-regular watchers, and everyone else in the room bit. I was the only one who didn't bite for the spot. And to me, it's the Eddie spot. It is actually a new Eddie spot as Dominic Mysterio is looking more and more like Eddie. It's an Eddie spot. He fooled everybody. And to John Cena's credit, let's give John Cena some more flowers. He took bumps from two female performers. He didn't have to take their finishers. He chose to take their finishers and put over these guys. And it was great. It was a little chicanery. The only thing I did not like was the fact that John Cena should have kicked out. We didn't need the ref nonsense. If he would have just kicked out and the match would have kept going, this would have been amazing. But instead, we're going to get a second. We get the exact same moves, Eric. Why? Why did we recycle?
Yeah, we did get the. That's funny that you mentioned that because even just looking at this quick recap that I have, it's like step by step, the exact same thing happens again. But go ahead, Rand.
But what could have happened is Dominic pinned John, 1, 2, and Raquel or Roxanne. Uh, like, you know what I mean? There's something could have happened, or John Cena kick out, and then Raquel and Roxanne just do like another type of distraction, and the ref throws them out. I don't understand why the ref didn't count. That's the only part of it. Everything I liked about it, but why didn't the ref count? Who makes you more important than John Cena in this match? Oh, I don't have to count if I don't have to. We discussed it last night. That's the only thing that pissed me off, the non-count.
Yeah, it's strange that the ref gets involved and almost has like center stage here in this match during that spot because it like throws himself into center stage to be saying, "No, I will not. I won't do it. Find somebody else because it ain't going to be me, brother." No, it was just that was very strange. Anyways, John Cena eventually getting back into Super Cena mode, locks in the STFU on Dom Mysterio, back to some more trickery that he does. He loosens up the laces on his boots and he slips out of the STFU. But again, we do 619 frog splash, 2 count, which we could have very easily done without having that referee saying, "No, I'm not counting." And we could have avoided all of this. Anyway, Cena is clobbering with shoulder blocks. He nails the referee. That brings in the rest of the Judgment Day. My lord, it is Finn and JD. They are just doing everything that they can, but they can't match up with Super Cena. Double attitude adjustment hit wonderfully and taken beautifully by Finn Balor. What a champion, man. He literally flipped over top and landed with Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough definitely right on his stomach. That looked gnarly, absolutely gnarly. But you know what didn't look gnarly? You know what looked beautiful, especially for our dear listener friend Rob Arbick? The return in shocking fashion to everybody besides me, because I think I've been saying this since the dawn of time. But here is Liv Morgan finally coming to help Dominic Mysterio or not. Either way, Liv, we love you. We're so happy that you're back. Randy, come on, man. Come on.
Liv Morgan is back, but is she? Is she with Dominic? This is the question. Explain what happens, then I'll definitely go on my roll with Liv Morgan. Yes, Liv Morgan is back. Isn't everybody happy, Rob?
Liv Morgan jumps into the air and slaps Dominic Mysterio right across the face. It looks like she is mad, and she jumps right into the arms of John Cena, who is like cool, bro, but also doesn't know what to do because he's a married man and he's got Liv Morgan wrapped around him like that. I mean, tough times. This is tough times for John Cena, actually. He took these two bumps. Actually, maybe that was the exchange, Brad. Maybe he said, look, I'll take Pop Rocks and I'll take the Tahana bump, but I want Liv Morgan jumping on me. Maybe that's the rule.
Um, Given his past as a bit of a playboy, I don't think his wife would have been particularly happy. As a married man, I can tell you, as we were having that happen, my wife literally looked at me and said no, and I was just like, knew exactly what she meant.
Liv, when she wraps her arms around Cena, she is just diabolically evil in the face already. And then the camera zooms in, and I swear to God, her eyes change color as she changes facial expression. And we talked about it all night. We talked about if it was a camera trick. We talked about what happened. Even later on in the interview, when she's talking with Dominic, she's like, "Did you see that? Did you see the pop up in my eyes? Did you see them change?" It was absolutely crazy. Her eyes change color. She turns, she boots John Cena right below the belt, right in the breadbasket. Right in the breadbasket, man. Helping Dominic Mysterio win. She is back, and she is back with dirty Dominic Mysterio. Not only does Dominic Mysterio get his Intercontinental title back, but we get Liv Morgan back, and we also get Liv Morgan back on Raw with the Judgment Day storyline. And things are just instantly looking bright for the future, Randy. That's the best way I can put it.
Isn't life good? Doesn't everybody love wrestling? Yes, Liv Morgan is back. By verbatim, the spot with when the John Cena turn happened, the look, the kick in the nerds, everything by verbatim, everything. It was beautiful. It was just good to see Liv back. When she definitely did the throw to Dominic, I was like, oh no, you can't break these two up again. I think actually we're going to see a little more on that. But yeah, Liv Morgan is back. This is definitely my huge pop of the night. The huge pop of the night. Liv Morgan being back. We missed you. And 99% of 99.9, right, Rob? There's some people that don't. And you can buy her shirt. Her shirt's all already available. I'm sort of stealing my words gimmick. It's live, laugh, and love Liv Morgan. So it's like a repeat. So yeah, definitely go on WWE shop and get it. But this match was absolutely incredible for the return of Liv. Before, when Raquel and Roxanne were outside of the ring and it wasn't no Finn and JD, we sort of talked about this happening. I didn't expect the ref thing happening at all with the count, but that was the only, I guess, put down for the match with me. But once I saw Raquel and Roxanne, I was like, guys, this is going to be a setup. Two out, Liv Morgan at the end. I don't know. But we were pretty much right. But before we get to Brad, I'm going to give it the banana rating. Rob Arbic, listen to this one. This is a 4.5 banana rating. And we only take 0.5 away because of that damn ref. So, yeah, enjoy that.
Listen, John Cena's last PLE pay-per-view ever. Brad, what do you got?
It was a great match, and I think it was near perfect other than that ref spot. The only other thing I wish was that we went right to the main event after this, because this next match, I felt so bad for the ladies involved, Eric, because we are about to sit through something where I have never seen this before, and I've watched wrestling with lots of people and different kinds of levels of fans. Everybody was on their phones.
Yep, that's true. And I mean, you can give some credit to the matches before, give some credit to the length of the War Games match, and then also John Cena and Dominic being a huge, huge match for people, and you're highly invested and your heart is invested. And maybe people were even down that John Cena lost the Intercontinental title like that, but that's the way it was supposed to happen. He's not supposed to retire with it. Like, if anything, we should have, if we wanted him to retire with the belt, we should have stuck to him being a heel all the way to the end, and then he could have ran off with the belt into the sunset. It wouldn't have changed merch sales. It wouldn't have changed it. But WWE was worried, and then fans also wanted this. They definitely wanted this stuff. Um, Anyways, next match coming up, we have Nikki Bella. Woo, in a championship match. I guess because she was friends with Steph Fakir and then not friends with her. And the champion, Steph Fakir, is just relegated, unfortunately, to this match here with Nikki Bella. There was a really good point brought up as we were watching this last night, and somebody said, actually, Randy said, could you name the top five Nikki Bella matches? And Brad, can you?
No, no, and the problem with this was that I like the fact that they're letting Nikki retire on her own terms, given the fact she had the bad neck injury. My bigger issue is they failed her. They should have let them go on right after the women's match. They put them in the
Yeah.
death spot, putting them after a War Games, before a War Games, and after John Cena's last match. They were the least significant match here. And it's not that Nikki Bella is a bad wrestler. She's just a diva.
Yeah.
And this is not the Divas era anymore.
Yeah, and of course, like the Bellas were probably top tier as far as that Divas era go. They were different than a lot of your other divas, like say for example your Cherry of Deuce and Domino and stuff like that. Like she was definitely different, and a lot of these performers looked up to her, or maybe that's just what they're playing off on screen. But I'm sure in real life, a lot of them did look up to her and kind of emulated and wanted to be in the WWF, WWE as well. So we're not taking anything away from her. It's just you nailed it. This is a death spot, no matter what. And they're just, oh, when they did the Devil's Kiss spot on the announce table, it looked terrible. It looked like, for one, it was awful on the knees of Steph Curry. And the sound effect was not there. Maybe it was Nikki Bella not smacking the table every time ridiculously as she was going down. But the impact, the sound effect, it was kind of like not a good payoff for the Devil's Kiss. I'll definitely say, as far as how much fun that move can be for the fans. But yeah, there was nothing really fun about this
The only thing
at
you can
all.
say is that the fans who got to see the Devil's Kiss up close, they seem to be enjoying themselves quite a bit. But one of the other things is, what did Nikki Bella do in this match? Like, name a move that she did. When that was the thing that I was my friend Laura who was sitting there. She goes, all Nikki Bella does is like hit something very simple and
Mhm.
then taunt the crowd.
Yeah. She did her rack attack in the match, and that's about it. And then after that, the end of the match, we have another Devil's Kiss, corkscrew splash, and we have the win here for Steph Akira, as it should be. But even having this match on the card, so many people are talking about what they would have rather seen in this position. And yeah, I feel more bad than for Steph than anything else, because Steph has been Raw's superstar. She really stepped in and took over as soon as Liv and Rhea got injured. And now we have Liv and we have Rhea and we have Steph Curry. Randy, what's going to happen now on Raw with La Primera, with the two top dogettes back in the company?
It's good. It'll up her game. It'll make it even more relevant than it was. I don't know how to explain this. This match, you heard me chirping and all through the match, and I feel so bad for Nikki. Um, you can see it in her confidence as well. I do believe that this stuff is getting at her, and that's why we're not excited for it. Is this Nikki's time right now? No, I don't think so, unfortunately. But with Stephanie, there's nothing but the future. And yeah, now we're gonna see some good things. We got Liv Morgan, we got Rhea Ripley. Um, Goodness knows what's gonna happen. But now there's worthy challengers for her title, and I'm excited for that. So this is just the hump in life. There are speed bumps, and now she's over this next bump. It's on to the next, right?
Give
Right.
us a
But
banana rating.
what's the banana rating? I'm gonna give this. Oh no, I'm gonna give this a 1.75 banana. Oh, one. Yeah, we're riding here. This is not. I think this is one of the lowest. I think Nia Jax there, Brad got lower than this at one point, but yeah, this is one of the lowest.
And the only
But
thing that would have saved this match was not having it here. And I would have said, Eric, you said earlier, we were talking about how the fact no tag teams never get on the PLEs. And this would have been a perfect spot for a tag match.
well, I
Just
was going to ask you actually, who else, what other feud from SmackDown deserved this position more?
you could have put any, you could, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the MFTs and uh, the Wyatts, but this is where they belonged. Like, you could have had a traditional Survivor Series match with them. You could have had the tag titles defended on this PLE. There's lots of other options.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good
there's a lot of
choice,
more
but
fun that you could have had there. Those are both much better choices. But when we talk about star-studded War Games matches, I don't think that there are other better choices that we can talk about coming up in this War Games match. And really what became kind of the good guys against Paul Heyman. That's really the way that this all started breaking down. Everybody's got some bone to pick with Paul Heyman, and everybody has connections to him. It is 5 degrees like of separation here, Randy, but this is 5 degrees of Paul Heymeration, I think you could call it. What do you think? Is it good? Is it
100%.
bad?
Yeah, that's everything, all the connections to him, yes. And well deserved. Paul Heyman, realistically, the only manager here in WWE right now, and one of the most important players in the game in wrestling. And yes, star-studded cast, but Paul with that one connection, even connecting Logan Paul. This was a superstar cast. It reminds me of the good old days with the Hulkamaniacs, right there, Brad the Dad versus Andre the Giant, Haku,
But,
the
but
Heenan family.
okay, so to go back, guys, to this whole thing, they needed the names. And the other piece, this was where the shark cages were really missed. We didn't need them for the
Yeah.
women's match, but for the men's match, I just wanted to see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in the shark cages chirping at each other. But maybe that's the real reason. Brock Lesnar's like, guys, I am not standing in one of these stupid cages. The odds of me hurting myself or doing something else that I get memed on the internet for, I'm not having it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's so many things that you could have done there. You could have had Brock, being called to the ring and just keep on throwing people out, tossing people out, throw it, lawn darting Logan Paul out of the door into the ring and sending him to
He
go
would have
get
needed a bigger
destroyed like he's been
cage.
doing. Yeah,
They would have needed a bigger cage. Let's put it that
you
way.
would
A
need a whale
cage.
shark cage instead in this
Whale
case,
shark.
my friends. But yeah, it was again, there's spots that are definitely missed without having those shark cages in effect. And maybe there wasn't also some mega reveals that people were expecting, or revelations, I guess you can say, as we get later in the match. But there's a lot of good information online on the internet right now about that as well. But yes, let's talk about who is in this match. Undisputed champion Cody Rhodes, World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and the Usos battle Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, the Bronze, as we like to call them around here, and Logan Paul. And guys, it's going to be hard to tell who's on whose team, because if you're into color coordination, everyone is wearing black. Randy, there was numerous times that you were like, look, Cody is wearing black. He's going to turn heel. And then as the match goes on more and more, again, because we don't see the shark cages, we don't see what they're wearing, everyone is wearing black.
Everybody is wearing black, yes. So everybody's heel. I guess you could say.
It
No?
seems like that. It seems like that. But Brad, come on, man. Like, can we just have like some let's just have some color and good guys gear, right? Like we've had War Games matches where they come out in army gear, they come out in themed things that kind of match. There was really no cohesive theme with the gear here with the face team or the heel team.
My wife had the line of the night, which was, she said, poor Jimmy Uso looks like he's wearing something that a nurse in a pediatric ward was wearing.
I've said this. Listen, as soon as I've seen Jimmy Uso in this new gear, this massive long jersey, massive pants effect, not only does it look bad, but he's making himself look worse. Like he looks giant in it. He looks like he is exploded, and we know that's not the case. We
Eric,
know
can we
it's not
point
the
out
case.
one real quick thing with CM Punk's gear? We're talking about gear all night.
Yes.
It took me a while to figure out what was on his gear, and I don't know if Brad, you guys were talking about it, but I know at the place that we were trying to figure out what the symbols were. And this is where I said, remember we talked earlier about production? You
Mhm.
barely seen CM Punk in this match. And I was trying to figure out, ask Eric. I was by the TV trying to see CM Punk and what was on his gear exactly. So from what I'm hearing, and I can't be 100% true, maybe Brad the fact checker can look it up as well. CM Punk was wearing silver shamrock type logos, and it was from the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch inspired gear, following Rhea Ripley and obviously the Terrifier. So, yes, looking over these symbols now, I don't know if Brad, the fact checker, can focus in on this as well, if he knew or didn't know.
I
But
mean, honestly, it
yeah,
all makes sense because you look at one logo, and I said it's like a pink pumpkin, and
yeah,
then I looked at another one, it almost looked like it was like a chili pepper, pink pumpkin, chili pepper, skull, and then the last one, which our buddy Matt Roberts, friend of the show, kept on saying it was a Spitfire logo,
yeah.
but
It's so it says right here.
okay.
One of them was a symbol of a jack-o'-lantern skull, a witch's mask. For those unaware, those are symbols from Silver Shamrock, a company found within 1982's Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. But it was also in black, so CM Punk is going heel.
Okay,
No,
all right.
it was just that they didn't coordinate it, and it is definitely
Yeah.
the series of the which I was doing the same thing. Just one of those ones where you go, "What the heck, guys?"
Yeah, and like, why would you make such a strange deep dive? Like, it's a Thanksgiving themed event, more or less. And we're leading into Christmas, and we're going to go into Halloween 3 references quickly. Like, everybody quickly understood who Rhea Ripley was trying to be, no matter how ridiculous she looked. Everybody knew who she was. And you know what? A lot of people online are talking about how much they love that look. Maybe you have to love the movie, but I think that she looked silly. I liked her
100%.
mask where she had horns and she looked like a demon. I think that's Rhea Ripley, like 100%, and that's why they made an Ultimate Edition figure of that look. But yes, Rand, sorry.
Yeah, no, back again with this gear and the production right here. And Brad, I don't know if you knew, I was nonstop trying to go up to the TV and try to figure this out, and I couldn't find CM Punk. Production was bad. Again, center of the one ring, the front ring with the door happened here, and you needed to see everybody wrestling in this match. But we'll
Okay,
let Eric go forward
well,
with
and yeah,
his
go
own.
through the recap. But one of the other spots that I know you're going to get to, Eric, was when he blasted when it was Cody got blasted in the balls by Drew, and I swear his arm was there for a solid 45 seconds.
Yeah, they did. He held the Ric Flair as long as he possibly could because it was in the other ring and there was no attention to it. And he probably didn't hear a crowd reaction too, which also made him kind of hold. Hold. Come on, we got to get the right shot. But anyways, okay, let's go forward. Punk is going to start off this match with Braun Breaker. As far as like the Faces team looks, it is so overstacked with talent and your star-studded lineup, especially these three guys. It makes it look again, and I said this in the Raw review, as soon as Roman hits the ring, you can see the difference between the aura of Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. And Roman is the guy. There's no other guy. Even Punk at the start of this match. I don't know if you picked up on this, Brad, but the first thing he does is point up to the air with a finger in his right hand, and I'm like, is he acknowledging Roman Reigns? Like, what is he pointing at? So that's the first thing that I noticed in the match itself. Braun Breaker with a very spiky jacket. He will be hugging nobody tonight. Going nowhere near that, man. American Nightmare gets into the ring with his black gear, followed by Drew McIntyre. Right? Right here comes Drew McIntyre. Anyways, all right, whatever. It is what it is. All the competitors are making their way and building up to the ring, and we know it's going to happen. I am sitting there dying as Jey Uso is running it back with his whole yeeting in the crowd mid-match. And all I kept on saying is, I want something to happen so badly right now. Brad, what the hell was that, man? Like, I don't know how else to say it. How do you stop mid-match just to do a very long, I think it was like impromptu, maybe like 2 minutes of yeeting all over the place.
Right. And it was just for the effect that, and at some point, some of the guys in the ring were realizing how stupid it looked, and they started picking up chairs and started attacking. It was silly. It was 100% silly. Um, that was not the spot I thought you were going to talk about. Let's just briefly talk about the fact that Braun Breaker is still okay. I sit up and watch the post show on WWE.com. He came out, so I assume he must be somewhat okay. But we got some like classic Survivor Series moves. We got a tribute to Dusty and a heart attack. And then we got the Road Warriors Doomsday device, and Braun Breaker landed on his head. Like
yeah, there's a reason why that move has been quote unquote outlawed, and thank God that Braun Breaker is literally one solid muscle of a man, because anybody else, that neck is snapping like a twig, and it looked gnarly. And again, when you look back at Dominic and the way that he fell on his shoulder, and it kind of looked like he fell on his head as well in that spot, you question, like, it really kind of, again, I was in Randy's position where I was pissed off at the first injury spot, followed by maybe real devastating loss of time in life, or maybe being put into a wheelchair. Like, I don't know, like that's where I do get really angry.
And that is a true story, folks, because he jumped up and goes, "Did you see that? That was garbage." Yes, the Doomsday device. One of the worst moves you could ever take in wrestling. The only thing worse I would say is the Beverly Brothers, their finisher, if you guys remember that. That was worse. But it's like a spike right.
Oh yeah,
and they spike right in the head.
And they botched that numerous times too, because nobody knew how to take it, because it was so crazy. Just throw a guy in the air and just drag him down with your arms until his head smashes into the floor.
But I think the Doomsday device being used, because if you notice their gear, you pointed that to me as well, Eric. Mr. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker wearing the spiked leather jackets. So again, these guys coordinated. Why couldn't everybody else? This didn't make any sense.
Yeah, they were the only ones that talked before the show. And then nobody can get Brock to wear anything different. He's just going to wear what he wants to wear and do what he wants to do his hair how he wants to do too, as well. Thank God for Brock Lesnar, because I am dying during the Yeet session, and I'm saying I hope they don't do a countdown, and I hope they just hit Brock's music, because he is pissed off as I am. And thank God, boom, that music gets hit. Here comes the Beast, and he is clearing out the ring in classic Brock Lesnar fashion. I don't think anybody can get anything in on him. This guy just runs in, starts F5ing everybody in sight. Honestly, I was dying for him to pick up Logan Paul at that point and F5 him too, just for fun. Like, I was dying for that to happen. But it did not happen, and I was super, super surprised. But anyways, yeah, Brock's in the ring, and again, once he's there, you're like, who can beat him? But here comes Roman Reigns, which apparently has everything that it takes to take out Brock Lesnar, who comes out of the cage as well to meet Roman and gets thwarted by the Superman punch. He cocks that thing back, boom, boom, shh. And then we have some quote unquote brass knuckles slid into the ring to Logan Paul. We didn't need, again, we talk about production value. We didn't need to zoom in on those brass knuckles so aggressively to the point where we could actually see the 3D printed mold on the side of it and notice that it was instantly plastic. Like, we did not need to do that. And also, when you have Logan Paul hitting three people flush in the face with those brass knuckles, those guys shouldn't stand up again tonight. Like, that's the way.
Those guys shouldn't eat food for about a month after getting hit with brass knuckles.
Yeah, exactly. So there shouldn't be any more getting up after that. But eventually those knuckles make their way to Roman, who uses them on the Beast himself. It looks like it's looking good for the good guys here, folks. But maybe not. Maybe not. We do have a Slim Jim table introduced into the ring. Again, it looks like a kind of crazy spot here, because somebody is on the shoulders of Brock Lesnar, almost gets dropped directly on their head as he goes through said table. That's great. But anyways, there's a lot going on in this match. It is just a lot going on. Near the end here, we're going to have that classic spot fest. Everybody is going for their moves. Another F5 is attempted, but here comes Cody Rhodes. Broke up that pinfall, and he hits, go to sleep gets hit, a crossroad gets hit. There's so much going on in this match, guys. It's just so much going on. We see like the good guys are really going to clear this one out. It looks like it's going to happen, but out of nowhere comes a masked man who runs and flies over the ring in a crazy fashion, just climbs that cage in about, I don't know, 8 seconds or less, is in the ring. Who the hell is this guy? He hits a super kick followed by a stomp. I gotta admit, I yell out, Seth! while we're watching. And then afterwards, I'm like, there's no way that, like, it took a second, but I was like, the size never could match up to Seth. So I think that we had the most fun of the night discussing who it could be or who it may be. And there's been numerous times when the name that's being rumored has been discussed as well. But the reason why a lot of people are saying is Austin Theory, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but Austin Theory is the owner of a very plump posterior. And a lot of people are saying that you can notice that here in this match. So, Randy, not only is it the broadness of his shoulders, not only is it the height, everything. We haven't seen Austin Theory for a long time on television. Chances are he could have gotten this jack to this size. Um, we don't get the revelation tonight, but do you think that we're 100% on this being Austin Theory, or is there a dark horse that this could be?
Well, when this first happened, yes, there's people in the room yelling Seth, and I was like, when he jumped onto the mats, right away, I said that's not Seth because you could see the size difference, right? Like this guy was tall, this guy was jacked. There was only one guy in that whole arena that is more jacked than the person I'm going to say. The person I thought was right away was Randy Orton. But there was
Hmm.
one guy in the arena that was even more jacked than Randy. If you guys looked during the match, there's this dude, again, the production value, that's in the front row. He must have been 6'9", 400 pounds. He was fucking huge. But I
He
said
was a
Randy Orton
massive,
right away.
massive,
Yeah,
massive man who outshadowed everybody on
everyone.
screen.
He was standing behind Brock Lesnar and making him look small. But no, I said Randy Orton right away. I thought it was him. I didn't think it was Austin Theory. But if this is Austin Theory, he did get jacked. This just gentleman is big. And when I say is big, I'm saying 275 pounds at least, 6'4", because you can see the size comparison compared to everybody else. Brad, what do
There
you think?
was one other name that was dropped as well that I thought was actually a pretty good theory until all this Austin Theory stuff came out. And when you see stuff like Fightful reporting Austin Theory, it's probably right. It's probably correct. We'll say that. But another name that was dropped that kind of would have made sense and also fits the physical look here, Brad. What about Montez Ford?
Yeah, I heard that. I saw it there as well, but it's definitely Austin Theory. And there's just been too many other theories about this. The other thing was Austin Theory was originally supposed to be in this match before Logan Paul, when
Hmm.
Seth was injured, and so it makes perfect sense that that's who it is. And then like, on the post show, I love Paul Heyman was hilarious. So on the post show, they immediately asked him who the masked man is, and he said, "I don't know." He answered a different question, and then later on, when they asked, "Well, is Logan Paul a permanent member of the Vision?" He said, "I still don't know who the masked man is," and it's so like just absolutely Paul Heyman greatness. But it's got to be Theory, just the height, the weight, the size. And yes, I've seen the posterior theories, and it's all over the internet. Also, he was spotted in San Diego, so it wasn't like they
Yeah.
hid him very well. He was spotted around, and it's not like he's been at other WWE shows recently.
Yeah, well, listen, when we think about the hype that was around Austin Theory when he was part of um the brand that WWE used to monitor, and when you saw him evolve, you saw kind of everything that he had that young. When he hit the main roster, there just has been a complete disconnection, especially in the last couple of years. Grayson Waller, of course, is just relegated to nothing now. If this is Austin Theory, which it definitely looks like it is, and we'll just say that it's going to be Austin Theory, and we're going to get that reveal on Raw. It's going to happen. Anyways, Punk being, the one who took all of this offense there is just laying prone into the ring. Braun Breaker gets the pin. Punk, maybe a sign of things to come at WrestleMania, potentially, as we see maybe Punk lose that title to Braun Breaker. But yes, that is the entire show. We are sitting there and thinking that we are going to not fade to black. We're going to get one more reveal or one more surprise, or maybe they're going to take the mask off of the men, but they don't do that. They decide instead to go with a standoff between, we'll say, Punk, Roman, and Cody, but all done almost in like separate ways. Like it was almost like Roman like had his own standoff with Punk, his own standoff with Cody. Cody tells him, I got you. I got you. I got you. And then we fade to black. So, yeah, that's War Games, folks. Randy, what do you give a banana rating for this match, brother?
Well, I'll give a banana rating just after my speech here. This, yeah, watermark or credits to nothing. That was a disappointment. Um, the match, realistically, was a disappointment to most parts. Again, you couldn't see everything that was going on. You saw one corner of the ring. Certain things happened too. If you remember, Cody Rhodes climbed the cage, just like AJ Lee did in the women's match because somebody was blocking the door. Think of something a little different. The surprise to me, Braun Breaker pinning CM Punk. Nobody could have guessed that in any way. It doesn't make a difference if there's a masked man or not. But I'm going to give points off for the ending, points off for, like you said, when Jey Uso climbed the cage to yeet, when people are fighting. It was like, I go, what? Insert Netflix ad break here? Wait, what's going on? Like, I was getting mad, and Eric can vouch for me during this. So let me just go. I'm only giving this, but it is a passing rating, unfortunately. 3 banana. 3 banana to 5. This is not a happy applause either that I'm doing. This is definitely. But who is the big man? It has to be Austin Theory. You guys are right. Brad, what about you? What did you think?
I'd say your rating's pretty much spot on. It was a fun spectacle. It was an all-star match, but the production killed this. And the biggest problem coming out of the only good thing coming out of this one is that you do have a story. I think you can build up Braun Breaker as a credible challenger for the world title. And I would hold off all the way to Royal Rumble. I'd have him win the title at Rumble. I don't think he even needs to win the Rumble. He could win Elimination Chamber and then win the title at Mania.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's definitely true. He doesn't need to win right away. There's a lot of time for that guy to do a lot of things in this business, and it's definitely going to happen.
Oh, guys, I just got news flash. It was Chris Jericho under the mask. Oh, that's it. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, somebody messaged me and said they thought it was Jericho right away, and I was like, yeah, I mean, kudos to Jericho if you can get over that cage that quickly. Let alone all of the other physical attributes that don't
Gain
match up.
8 inches.
Yeah. Let alone everything else. But yeah, by all means, if he can do it, all the power to him. But yeah, guys, again, these matches are supposed to be spectacles. Um, I don't think anybody expects them to be five-star wrestling act like as far as wrestling talent goes, classics. But we do expect some high spots, and we expect certain people to be in the match to deliver said high spots. And when you have the production just catching the end of Logan Paul jumping off of the top ropes with a weapon in his hand into somebody or something like that, and you don't know where he even came from, it does lead you to be like, okay, we could do this a lot better. So maybe it's a split screen, maybe it's one match, maybe it's go back to giving us that main event of that traditional Survivor Series elimination style match. But the show itself certainly was lacking for a lot of folks, and that is definitely a lot of the review that you see online. And I think both of us, Randy, I think a lot of the five people that were in the room watching probably at the end of it felt that wasn't as good as we would have liked it to be.
100%. It wasn't. And overall, I give this PLE a 2.5 banana, unfortunately. So it's just a barely passable. It
And
was
There
what
you
it
go.
was.
And the other big problem is going to be pacing going forward with ESPN. And if I have to hear that Netflix music, we accidentally started at 8:30 because local time, which is a half an hour into the show, because my friends were running behind, and we were caught up by the main event. And that you shouldn't have to stagger the start time of watching wrestling in order to skip through commercials.
Oh, and there are so many things that you can do differently with that holding screen music. There's so many different things that you can do. You can just compile stats and attributes of everybody on the roster, and then during that time, like, try to show people, like, the people we don't know that much, and you can play their theme music as you do it too. For Brad's point, you can put Lash Legend on the screen here during this break for 30 seconds. Play her music, show her stats, show her age, her height, how many wins, losses she has. Give us a little bit something that's more interactive than
Instead
just,
of "We will be right back." Remember
oh
when we saw
yeah.
that twice last night? Jeez.
Yeah, and then the music too is like that bing 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 bing, and it just keeps going over and over again, and it drives you crazy. I mean, give me something with a little bit of flair, a little Latin rumba. Da, 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 da. No, we don't need that. Anyways, guys, that was the review here of Survivor Series War Games from San Diego. Brad, thank you so much for joining me and Randy here on the review. And if they wanted to hear more of your lovely voice, see more of your lovely face, how could they do so?
You can check us out at smackdaddies.ca. I am Brad the Dad NS on pretty much all my socials, and we do YouTube videos as well. I'm not quite at 1 million, Randy, but I just about at 100,000. I went and looked it up. I was like, how close am I getting to like a nice round number? Less than 500 to 100,000 views. So yeah, join us over there. And we're here on the Hub Sports Entertainment Network, where we're joined by the Raw Dogs. And you guys have a show, Randy, coming up like 48 hours from now.
Yes. And hopefully find out who Under the Masked Man is. Thank you, Brad. Yes, go follow them. Go like them. They are the best out there for your SmackDown review. But yes, we are Draw Straws Raw. You can find us on YouTube at Draw Straws Raw. On social media and everything, you can find us at The Sports. The Hub Sports Entertainment. Sorry, man, I'm having a bad day today. I'm like really bad awful on everything.
This guy is just being way too hard on himself. This man has said yes to everybody for the last week about everything, and is completely run ragged, and is still doing this show, and is still here for our listeners, just like he is every single week on Draw Straws Raw.
You know who I'm not going to say yes to? That is Rob Arbic, because Liv Morgan is back. Jack, everybody get excited. Father Greg, we missed you today. And yeah, go follow our Instagrams and everything else at the Hub Sports Entertainment and our Twitter. And Eric, what about you? Where can they follow you at, sir?
Wrestling with Eric. That is without a W and without a G on the Instagram. And then go to the Hub. Just listen to us, follow us. We are here for you. Send us messages. Jack Barco, it's nice to know that you've been supporting the page. We definitely know each other, brother. Shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Guys, again, thank you so much for listening, making it all the way to the end of the show. Until the next time you hear from us, please take care of yourselves and each other, and continue to live your lives impactfully.
Brad, you got a punchline?
Punchline.
Nice. Liv Morgan is back. Laugh and always love wrestling.
Deuces!
Right now. They're eating, yeah. Does that bother you?
What's it called? 4 letters, 1 word. Stop.